Government bonds or real estate, where would you rather invest? Now, for many Kenyans, when it comes to long-term investments, most people lean towards real estate. But in this video, we are going to compare investing in government bonds versus real estate for a period of 14 years with an initial investment of 7 million Kenya shillings. Now, let's get into the math. If one person invests 7 million Kenya shillings today in a bond and the other in a real estate property, how much will they have after 14 years? Let's start with the real estate property. Now, for the sake of this video, we assume that using your 7 million Kenya shillings, you buy a one-bedroom apartment in Kilimani. Now, if you lease out this apartment at say 50,000 Kenya shillings every month, that means that in a year you get 600,000 Kenya shillings. But then remember, you have to pay about 7.5% tax of your gross income when you have a rental property, and there's also maintenance, and probably on some days the house is not occupied. So let's say that in a year, when you remove all these costs, you get about 480,000 Kenya shillings. That means that in 14 years, this is about 6.7 million Kenya shillings. But that's not it, because rental properties increase in value. So if in the first year the rental income per month is 50,000 Kenya shillings, it's not going to be that throughout the 14 years. According to recent reports, Kilimani's rent raises at about 6% every year. So if we put this into account, you'll have earned 7.3 million Kenya shillings in 14 years in rental income. For comparison, let's assume that you invest your money into an infrastructure bond which has a 13% interest rate. So with 7 million initial investments, that means that every year you get around 910,000 Kenya shillings in interest. And that means that every 6 months you're getting paid about 450,000 Kenya shillings. Now, if you bought the bond directly, meaning that there are no deductions or there's no tax being charged on the interest, that means that in 14 years you're going to have earned 12.7 million, which means that you earn more than 5 million more than the person that invested their money into the one-bedroom apartment in Kilimani. However, it is important to note that after the 14 years, the person that owns the real estate property still owns the property, which has a higher value. But then after the 14 years, when the person that invested in the government bond gets back their money, its purchasing power is lesser due to inflation. Now, if you decide to sell your real estate investment after 14 years, let's say it has about 4% appreciation. That means to sell the one-bedroom apartment in Kilimani, you will sell it for about 12.2 million Kenya shillings. Meanwhile, if you invested in the government bond and you consider an inflation rate of about 6 point something percent in Kenya, then the purchasing power of your initial 7 million Kenya shillings will be about 3 point something million Kenya shillings. So while the bond investments provides higher income within the 14 years, the real estate yields a more valuable asset. So when you're choosing the investment to put your money into, there's not a specific way to choose. It all depends on your goals. Do you prefer immediate income, or are you looking for a long-term investment that appreciates over time? Money254.co.ke has written about these investment vehicles and compared different investment vehicles. Click on the link on our bio to learn more.